With the astounding popularity of films like Rabbit-Proof Fence, it seems unlikely Australia's history, its story of itself, will remain incomplete for much longer.
Someone said that the opposite of a black armband view of history is a white blindfold view of history. And I think that to deny the pain and the suffering and the shameful parts is to deny the truth. It's not that we want to say there are no bright aspects, no achievements in Australian history. Of course there are. But there are also shameful parts which bind some people, hold them back, because that story is never acknowledged. And they're not free to move on. And until they are set free to move on by acknowledgement and recognition of that pain and that history, the whole nation can't move on. It stops us from being one people.
And each one came up later and said, you know, we did not learn any of this at school. I said, no, neither did I. We experienced it.
I come to this as somebody who knew nothing about Aboriginal affairs until probably 10 or 15 years ago when I started my research. I'm just, I suppose, typical of a lot of middle-class people who were busy doing something else, never learnt about it at school, never thought about it particularly. So for me, it's particularly a case of personally understanding to some extent what Indigenous people have been through, the hardships that they were put under, the deception which still is maintained that somehow this was all protection policy, this was all for their own good, this was all well-meaning. That is a deception. My research has showed that quite clearly, that people who were taken away from their families and confined in government care and controlled throughout their lives are far worse off than people who were allowed to make their way in the general community. Not only are these people far worse off, but governments always knew that they were not looking after the people they removed anything like the standard that they looked after white children that were removed.
The average non-Indigenous Australian is, I think, embarrassed if they meet an Aboriginal person, because they frankly don't know quite how to behave. It's difficult for them to be natural and friendly as they would to a neighbour or someone that there's a latent racism there, I think, that well, I mean, the whole point of the journey of healing and Sorry Day is to diminish that racism, and the way to do it is through listening to stories, which will bring an understanding of their background, their culture, their individual journeys, and understanding opens the way to harmony and fellowship and unity.
The symbols of the music sticks express the Journey of Healing's motto of recognition, unity and commitment. The meeting at Uluru represented the heart of Australia, and that healing comes from the heart. The music sticks will pass from one non-Aboriginal representative, stolen generation non-Aboriginal representative, through right till we get to the end, when I explain that the chairs and the patrons will then move to place the music sticks into the empty cradle, which represents bringing the children home.
Events like Corroboree 2000 helped Australia start with small steps on the journey of healing. But the challenge is to continue finding ways to bring the stolen generations home and to rescue Australia from its status as the sorry-proof country.
One day, 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 if we can now say that
to the people from this land. They cry, their children were stolen, they still wonder why.
So Sorry Day should be right up the top. I think then Anzac Day, the other days come after that, for people that fought to keep this country free.
I keep referring to Anzac Day. I wasn't involved in Anzac Day. I wasn't involved in other traditional memorial days, but I do respect it.
Sorry Day will always be it will always require activists in a way that Anzac Day doesn't. It will always require apologists in a way that Anzac Day doesn't. And I think that gives it a much less secure place. But on the other hand, as long as the Indigenous people maintain their place in the Australian community, it's not likely to disappear.
They cry, their children were stolen, they still wonder why. Sing, sing loud, break through the silence, sing sorry across this land. We cry, their children were stolen, now no one knows why. Sing, sing loud, break through the silence, sing sorry across this land. Sing, sing loud, break through the silence, sing sorry across this land.